This is Lisa Steinberg from Starry Constellation Magazine. I am joined by the super lovely Rainbow Wedell from School Spirits, and we're here to chat about season two. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, you're doing me like the biggest pleasure to have the chance to chat with you because I am a School Spirits like super geek. I love everything about the series. I love all the characters. I recognize myself in each one. There's something about each one that resonates. But you can also kind of get yourself into this great escapism and mystery and intrigue and tension and twist. Like there's something that really keeps you on edge throughout
Mm.
watching every single episode, and where you leave things off, your head feels like it's spinning, or your heart feels like it's pounding, or you're like, when can I watch again? When can I watch again?
The music, like the soundtrack as well, is so intense sometimes. Like just like the score, the without any lyrics even, is so it gets my heart pumping.
I could talk for hours about like the playlist that needs to come out from watching School Spirits.
So good.
We have season two that's out coming out now. Episodes are coming out now for season two, weekly episodes. And it's been quite a while since, season one, at least
Yeah.
quite a while from filming. I'm sure for
Mhm.
you all as a cast from filming one to two in between. Um, Stepping back on set and getting back into the character of Claire and being back in Split River, what was it like for you to come back here for season two and finally be on set again?
Yeah, it was a long time. It was really good. They actually tore down the school that we shot the first season in, so they had to rebuild everything in like studios in another part of town, and so it was like strange going to that. But once you step foot, they made it so identical. I didn't even know that it was a different school as soon as I stepped foot, and you cannot tell at all from watching it. They did such a good job at it. But it was definitely it didn't feel honestly like any time had passed, especially because we start off season two where season one ended. So it was like straight back into it. I wore the same clothes as I did in like episode 8 of last season. So it was like even that, like getting back into that as soon as I stepped foot in the door, it was like no time had passed. It was, yeah, really easy.
Yeah, the continuity. I mean, like you're jumping back in right where you left off. Like this, it's not one of those like murder mysteries procedurals where you're like next week you have somebody new or something. Like this is like
Yeah.
an ongoing mystery that's
Yeah.
that's and developing as you're watching. And um, from season one to season two, it's again, yeah, it's just like you said, like you never left as a cast, and we never left
Yeah.
as the audience. We're picking right back up where the uh where the group is with
Mhm.
their with the mystery and everything that's been going on. And you all seem like quite, a close cast as well. So I can imagine that, like even during the time period when you weren't together on set and coming back, that you all probably maintain quite a group chat.
Yeah. Yeah, the group chat was every week someone had something to say. And we all went back to like different parts, I think, like New York, and LA and Vancouver and Toronto, I think, is mostly where everyone is. And so it's definitely fun when I go to like the East Side, being able to like see like Sarah and Nick and and so like everywhere that I do go in America that I usually go to those three big cities. So every time I go there, I get to see someone, which is also fun.
Well, when you received the scripts for season two and you kind of started to peruse what we get to see here from Claire, your character, what maybe stood out for you about whether it's her development or her arc, maybe the tone of the season itself?
Yeah. Um, yeah, Claire is definitely very different this season. She gets to let down her walls, which is a huge thing for her. She kind of lets go of some friendships that weren't very good for her and get new friends. She finds her people, and she doesn't have a lot of genuine, real people in her life. Everyone kind of is like a yes man to her or lies to her. Her parents just give her money and like tell her to be perfect. So her being able to find these genuine friendships and real people is something that she has been missing. And then in return, she becomes very vulnerable with them and they become like a family.
Yes, this season, it's just really been nice to see her kind of let down that guard and give herself, like, let herself have a breath, like take that weight off of her shoulders that she continues to carry of obligations, of perceptions, like things that she feels like she has to be, and the great exercises that they do in one of the episodes where,
Yeah.
it's like, step forward if you have ever had this, step
Yeah.
forward if you ever that, and she starts to see who she has in common things with common and who she
Mhm.
no longer has so much in common or thought maybe or
Yeah.
perceived in common. And like you said, she lets those walls down. And for me, it's kind of like she finds her breaking point, but she also finds her people at the same time as she finds
Yeah.
that breaking point.
Yeah. Wow. Well said. Yeah, exactly.
uh there's just so much of the wonderful like layers and wonderful things that I find myself that resonates because I am someone who kind of blocks themselves off as well, like feels like I have to kind of shoulder everything alone. So I can,
Yeah.
like we were talking about before, like I see myself in the character of Claire. And we talk also about how it kind of guides her to people as well, and we get
Yeah.
to see more of her relationships with people that we haven't expected or would maybe not expect her to see as well. But
Yeah.
with regard to your at least portrayal, with these new developments that we get with Claire, is there something that you kind of maybe blueprinted or constructed, or the way that you kind of thought about your portrayal? Is there something that you kind of did differently this season as opposed to last, where you came from with your portrayal?
Yeah, I approached both seasons very differently. The first season, it was very much like I've never played the popular cheerleader character before, and so stepping into that was daunting for me. And I watched like a lot of cheer documentaries. I watched like a lot of like popular like those kind of um, really confident stoic women, and then this season it was a lot of like because all of us were very individual, all of us in the group, Simon, Nicole, and Xavier, are all very individual people who used to doing stuff alone, and so coming together and bring each of us bringing kind of our assets to the table was really fun, and being able to shoot with like and make it funny and make it like have this like group dynamic um and so yeah, it was definitely a very different approach to this season.
Yeah, she always has had this kind of like loner vibe to her, but now she's starting to let more people in, starting to interact more, and the more that her relationships with these people develop, the more that she's kind of finding more of herself or letting go of certain things from herself and finding new
Yeah.
things about herself at the same time.
Yeah. It's a big learning season for Claire for sure.
The writing is just, and then and the series itself, we talk about it, it provides such a really diverse perspectives, provides different diverse perspectives, pardon me, and really sharp, compelling storytelling as well. As someone who is a part of the series, what is it about this kind of lens that School Spirits gives to these characters that kind of also allows you to feel as though, as an audience, you're kind of part of the story while we watch this mystery and these people within their dynamics?
Yeah. Yeah, the writers did such a good job. Nate and Megan and Oliver did an incredible job with the writing. My jaw is on the ground after every single episode, and we only get this episodes as we are shooting them. So us as actors don't know what's going on and what will happen in the last episode. So we know as much as our characters do, which I think is really fun to play. And something that they do really well is that they have all of these like caricatures, and they have like the jock and the cheerleader and the goth guy and the best friend and all of these characters, but they don't make it the stereotypical tropes. They make them so layered and really like damaged and broken and real and raw, and it's so beautiful that the way that they made these characters have so much life to them, and they're not just the average like YA drama characters. And and then, so I think that that is really, really well done. And they also, they also have different, like, people from different eras. So I feel like anyone could really watch the show. Like, all the ghosts are from different eras and they have their own lingo from that generation, and they dress like that. And that's really fun to watch as well. And so I think it's definitely a show for everyone. And they also like have family problems as well. Like, they deal with like a child of an alcoholic and substance abuse and found family. It's a lot of like they deal with a lot of like genuinely intense subjects, and they do it really well.
Yeah, absolutely. The writing, it just draws you in, but it also gives you this great like emotionality amongst it at just well. And every character, like we talk about continually, like you can find something in them that resonates, but you like these people, everybody has trauma. You just don't know what what that is because it's not on the
Yeah.
surface, you know.
Yeah.
And so to see each person and see their struggles or to see something that they carry with them, there's always something you can relate to. And then I'm obviously not in the I guess I'm not in the demographics. I'm not younger, that like the same age, obviously, but I'm older. But I can remember, like, obviously, going through certain high school experiences of like either being bullied or people who don't know where they fit in or they're trying to find their place and they don't know their identity or like there's within all of these mysteries and suspense and supernatural. There's that real element of everybody's experience in life, not just high school, but the life experiences that everybody struggles with.
Yeah. Yeah. Really well said. Yeah.
We talk also before about the relationship between Nicole and Claire and how it kind of gets stronger this season, and Claire kind of starts to rely more on Nicole, and Nicole starts to not have that, loner, like she's been alone since Maddie's gone, and she hasn't had her own kind of outlet. She's been struggling herself. And I wanted to ask a little bit about kind of like what is it that continues to bond these two and bring them closer more they have before and more than maybe they might expect of each other.
Yeah, I think Claire and Nicole are opposites, but I feel like they're also similar in some way. Like, I feel like both of them they don't sugarcoat anything. They don't BS. Nicole seems to always give Claire honesty, whether it's in a nice form or not. She's always just being straight up with Claire, and Claire respects that. And she's also straight up with Nicole. She's straight up with everyone in her life. She sets really clear boundaries, and she never sugarcoats anything. And so, um, I think they have a mutual respect for each other. It does take them a while from like the end of season one to the beginning of season two for them to connect on a genuine level. But I think that they definitely trauma bonded with what happened with Xavier, and all they had was each other in that moment. So that was like girls like, sticking together. And so I think, yeah, I think they get a real sisterly bond by the end, but it takes a little bit for sure.
Yeah, I feel like that they're going in the right direction, and they have
Yeah.
that they have the commonality, they have the similarities of like the no filter, and but they also
Hmm.
have the like affection, different ways affection, for Maddie and the reasons for trying to find her and help, and the overall arc of everything.
Yeah.
But I think they're working on their trust issues. Maybe they should have spent more time doing the exercises together inside the library or something like.
Oh, definitely.
They have some trust bonding to do maybe.
Both very much so.
One of the scenes that really kind of has stuck with me that I really um I just it really made me got like so like cry and feel so connected to Claire, was the scene where she's kind of at the sitting in the football stadium and she's breaking down, and it's actually Simon who comes and sees her,
Yeah.
um and she kind of opens up and is vulnerable around him, someone who she really really doesn't have any other like a
Yeah.
relationship with or hang out with or connection
Yeah.
to really that we've seen before at least. And it really brought this like nice kind of tug, but you know, that
Mhm.
same kind of like emotions where feelings where you're like you just want to give her a hug. Like you wish Simon or Maddie like somehow someone will just like give her a hug and let her just share everything. You want her to just gonna
Mhm.
like share everything because she's still holding so much in, as much as she's kind of letting a little bit out, but it's not everything at the same time. And I think that scene, you and Christian just did such an incredible job with these great
Yeah.
beats of the emotional tug and the heartfelt and just also like the tenderness that that we kind of haven't seen before again between these two characters who kind of seemingly also are opposite in ways as well, but also have that connection at the same time to Maddie as well. And I wanted to kind of ask you kind of how you and Christian maybe set up the scene and the beats that we get that are so poignant that offers that type of tug.
Hmm. Yeah. Uh, Christian is a phenomenal actor. He's a phenomenal scene partner. We did a lot of rehearsal, the four of us, for all of the human kids scenes. But I chose not to rehearse this scene with Christian that much because I trust him so much as a scene partner that I know on the day he's gonna make sure that I feel safe and bring whatever I need he needs to the table and I need to the table. But one thing that I really admire about Christian is that he really dives into every scene. And sometimes I get really scared to be super vulnerable and to be to like look like an idiot, and if I like do a scene wrong or if I mess it up or if it just doesn't work. And Christian, he just goes, he takes these chances, and that's why he's such a phenomenal actor. And some of the scenes that he does, he makes uh, a choice that isn't a normal, like a regular choice that you would as an actor. And that's what the incredible acting comes from, is those moments of risk. And so on that day he told me to like to dive in and to not be afraid and to like actually just go. I had to just go through it. I couldn't just like tiptoe around this scene. And that was my first time doing a vulnerable emotional scene, and I was really scared to do that. And so having him, and also Peyton was there as well, even though I couldn't see Maddie, but she's still such a safe space for me. So it's just having her presence there was really comforting. But having them, I think that they were exactly who I, as Rainbow, needed to do that scene with.
Christian and his acting in that moment, again, like the two of you together just crafted such a beautiful scene where you want to just kind of envelop them both and like let them know everything will be okay. And that's sort of also kind of what like Maddie was doing in the scene, sort of also like to give that kind of comfort in whatever way she could, and giving this little clue or like the nod that she's there to Claire
Yeah,
to know that she's cares about her and that there's someone else besides Simon, and as much as Christian is an amazing actor, Peyton Peyton carries so much of the series too much as well, and she's just phenomenal as Maddie, and providing all these dual, the
yeah,
dual parts of the character Maddie
yeah,
slash Janet Maddie
yeah.
type.
I'm like terrified of Janet.
Her Janet and the woman wonderful person who plays Janet is just like so like together,
Yeah,
like like absolutely incredible, like chilling, like it's so good.
no, were cast really well. They're incredible actors, yeah. And I see like they worked so well together because Jess would always be there on the day when they would be like the flashback, because sometimes in the scene with Maddie you see glimpses of Janet,
Yeah.
and so they're always working together. They're such collaborators. They do really, really well in this show. And you just wait until like the next episodes as well, it gets better.
I'm waiting. I can have certain screeners, but like at the same time, I love the ability to watch when everybody watches, and we all can. I mean, I can't talk about it until everybody else can talk about it, so that makes it even harder for me too. Like I'm like, this is so good, but I can't say anything because I have to wait till everyone else watches at the same time too. So it's like a double-edged sword for me in a sense. So I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting, and I'll be on my edge at the same time.
Yeah. Once a week is like, it's a long time. Like only weekly, like I understand that's like that it's good and I love that. But even me, as the actor who like who's filmed it, I'm like this. I want to watch all of them now.
We're only 4 episodes in, and there's so much more to dive into, of course, but from just the material and the scenes and everything, like everything that's transpired so far, like I told you before, that it's just everything is just like from production to cinematography to the acting, the writing, of course, everything is just so remarkably and exemplary done. What is it that kind of continues to impress you about these aspects of the series that also offers, again, this great like lens for the audience, and the great, of course, detailing and immersion that we get to see from being the audience to School Spirits?
Yeah. The cinematography is incredibly, incredibly well done. It's so well shot. One thing that I really love about this series is that usually you're acting against someone in a scene, but with this, when it's like a single shot on you, that I'm not acting to my scene partner, I'm acting to this kind of dot on the side of the camera, and so I'm looking at that. I'm hearing their voice. And it's so difficult sometimes because the whole thing about acting is reacting to what you're given. But because we're not given anything, it's like sometimes it's so difficult. But that's where like I don't know if you can, like the shots are so incredible because the way that they explained it to me, which is so well done, is that the eyes are closer to the camera lens, so it feels as the audience that they're getting drawn more into the story, and I think that's really well done. But yeah, so that's the cinematography and the way it's shot is one of my favorite things about the show.
We're part of the Split River High School, or we're one of the ghosts, or we're part of, like one of
Yeah,
the mystery solvers. Like we're like we feel like we've got the eyes about like everyone's eyes, and
yeah.
and I love that about it. That's also like again another element that adds to the tone. It adds to the pacing.
Mhm.
It adds to the suspense, the twists, the tensions, the energy, like everything about it. That's it heightens everything, it amplifies everything, and um, that's what the hallmarks of like super great series is just how you feel when you watch and what it makes you feel when you watch, and if you feel like you're there with with the series and that escapism that it offers you, but the chill factor at the same time too,
Yeah.
like it gives you such an array of like just watching it is just absolutely one of my favorite things to do is just to watch and feel like I have to watch it again because there's something else that's going on, and maybe I missed one of the clues, or like maybe I know a different way that they could explore that. Like there's always something happening that makes you want to watch it again, and
Mhm.
if either you miss something or just because you just love it so much that you have to watch it all over again because you have to wait a whole other week.
Yeah, the week is crazy.
Well, as the season progresses, because we're again 4 episodes in, is there anything that you can maybe tease or share about kind of how the relationships may be tested further, or maybe the drive of how the stakes as a mystery between Maddie and Janet gets more intense?
hmm Yeah, there's a lot of relationships in this. If it's like platonic, romantic, there's a lot of relationships in this season that I love. And I will say the human group gets really close and misses almost every time, and it's so painful to watch, but it is so fun because Janet is so incredibly smart. She's so manipulative. She's so like tactful. so careful with everything that she does. And so she's always one step ahead, and the human kids get they go on a lot of adventures this season.
That's, Maddie, Janet Maddie, the mind within the mind of it all. Like she's very sharp. We already know we got to see her backstory, of course, in one of the beginning episodes of the season. So we know how smart she is. But now we're learning like even more, like how
Yeah,
smart she is and how cunning she is, and like you said,
yeah,
how she's, steps ahead, but she is also very careful. But also,
yeah.
because she's not from the specific time
Mm,
period, she's not always as sharp and as smart as we are here in 2025.
yeah. 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 Having just like a map instead of like what is it? GPS is what does
Right.
Simon say? A general postal service or something?
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, she's got to learn, she's got to adapt, but that's also kind of difficult at the same time too.
Yeah.
As yeah, she's definitely not used to smartphones. That's one of her flaws. That she's not addicted to her phone, so you'll know that it's not her. Well, just my last question to ask is, as a whole, from watching School Spirits season two, what do you hope maybe like lingers with fans, either maybe like I said, as a season as a whole, or something as we once again pray, hope, and manifest season three for the series.
Yes, please. Um, yeah, I think something that this season that I learned personally from just reading and filming this season is found family is so important, and there's so many relationships that happen this season, and that I personally have a lot of found family. I don't have a lot of family members, so then having these like friends of my life in my life become like family to me is so important, and like family doesn't end in blood. And so yeah, just that's something that I learned from this season.
Yeah, I love that. The family, there's like different family dynamics, and like there's the dead family dynamics, and there's a lot
Yeah,
of family dynamics.
yeah.
And maybe they'll collide because, Claire and Nicole, and they're kind of
Mhm.
starting to believe a little bit. They're kind of starting to give in to the idea that's, Simon's presenting in front of them, and that, there's more than one kind of ghost out there. One of them
Yeah,
kind of ghosts to believe in us, he says.
yeah. Yeah, episode 5 I think is my favorite. I'm excited to see what you think of it.
Well, again, I'm such a huge, huge fan of the show. I hope I didn't gush too much, but I love that I had the chance to chat with you, and we're at episode 4, and then we have episode 5, so maybe, hopefully we'll be able to have the opportunity to chat again either towards the end of the season, or as I said before, when we get season 3, I need a season like I'm already at this point where I'm like, half the season hasn't happened yet, but give me season 3 because I will be the person campaigning, and like this show needs the attention, it deserves the attention. I hope everybody starts watching because I will be the one, doing all the social media. I'll be the one putting out all the promotion on blast. You can come to me and be like, I know that girl. She's the one doing this is
Thank you so much.
yeah, it's a pleasure. So I wish you all the best here, of course, with season 2. And again, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.
Yes, thank you. Take care.